Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wildness and Wellbeing, which is in fact going to be the last in season 3. I'm Tim Jones, and today I am here with the amazing Neneh Bentley, who has been travelling with me for the last couple of months. Hey Neneh, how's it going?
Hello, I'm good, thank you.
And today we're going to do a little bit of a sum up of our travels together, basically. So, yeah, I did yoga teacher training back in March. It feels like such a long time ago. So I did that for a month and then went to Chiang Mai and chilled in Chiang Mai for a little bit. I'd been in the jungle. And if you haven't heard about that experience, there's a podcast with Devon Ball, who was on the yoga teacher training course with me. So I did that, and then I got on a plane to Hanoi where I met Neneh, which was, for me, I was there for about 10 days, and there were mopeds coming up here, there and everywhere on the pavement. It was pretty mental. I don't know if you can remember much of Hanoi.
I don't really remember those first couple of days. I think I was I didn't think I was at the time, but now I look back, I think I was just so jet lagged. And I remember the first night's sleep, I was like upside down in bed, and I think I woke up at like 3:00 in the morning and didn't know where I was. But Hanoi as a whole, I just remember it being really busy. And I think before I came out, I knew I didn't particularly like busy city life, but I think that just reaffirmed that for me, that I don't really like busy cities.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. And then we got on the train to Ninh Bình, and that was our kind of first proper stop off, wasn't it? It was pretty cool.
Yeah. I think Ninh Bình was a lot quieter compared to Hanoi. It was nice to have that kind of escape almost from the busyness. I think was it Tam Coc? It was more of a town just outside of Ninh Bình. That was probably my favourite area.
Yeah, Tam Coc was pretty good because you could go on boat rides, and then there was a few temples, wasn't there, that we went to,
it was nice.
Which was cool. Good places to eat and drink. So if you're ever heading to Ninh Bình, I'd definitely recommend Tam Coc as a place to stay. I think there's a few hostels there, isn't there?
Yeah, it seemed like more of a tourist area, whereas where our hotel was in Ninh Bình, it was almost derelict, really, wasn't it? There wasn't really any residential areas around.
Yeah, and a lot of the taxi drivers didn't actually know where they were going either, did they?
No.
I do remember that restaurant, that weird restaurant we went to.
Where they wouldn't let. Yeah, they wouldn't let it look. I don't know. It looked like I don't know. It didn't look like just a restaurant. It looked like more of a venue for hosting events. But we were trying to get a menu, but I don't think he understood.
Yeah, he was just shouting at us, wasn't he?
Yeah, so we found somewhere else that night.
But yeah, Hang Moi was really good. There's some caves there, and a really cool mountain with a couple of pagodas on the top, which were really cool.
That was where the dragon was at the top as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was cool. And the Lotus Gardens, that was at the bottom.
Yeah, that was really good too, wasn't it? And then we went on a Trang An boat ride through some caves. That was pretty cool too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was really good.
And then it was the night train to Da Nang, which I think we've done a few videos on YouTube. So head over to the YouTube channel and you can see the different experiences we had along the way. But the night train, we did do a video about the night train, and that was definitely an interesting experience. It was about 14 hours, wasn't it?
It was definitely long, 14 hours, yeah. I said to you though, I think the night wasn't too bad. I did actually feel like we slept a little bit. It was the morning I found hard. I think I probably woke up about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and that felt like the longest few hours until we arrived.
Yeah, I didn't sleep at all, really. I was listening to Matthew Perry's book and just drifting in and out of consciousness. I think the worst thing was waking up in the morning and people eating pot noodle-y things at like 5 a.m. in the morning. The smell was pretty...
Yeah, it was horrendous. I don't know what was in that food cart that came down the corridor, but we just turned our heads. It did smell. No, yeah, not for us.
Yeah. And then we hit up Da Nang, and I think of the entire trip of Southeast Asia, Da Nang was probably in my top 3 places, I reckon.
Yeah, I would agree. And it is a city, I think. Is it?
It is a city.
It is a city, but it didn't feel city-like, if that makes sense, because it was more on the coast as well.
Yeah, it was like a strip resort almost of places, and I think it wasn't too intense when it came to the busyness, and there was a lot of vegan places to eat, which were really cool, I thought.
It was nice. That was where we went into that woman's house, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was probably one of my favourite meals.
Yeah. That was we wandered into someone who does cook courses, like Vietnamese chefing courses and stuff, and we literally just sat down and her husband cooked us dinner, and it was probably one of the best we've had for sure.
It was really nice. Yeah, I'd definitely go back to Da Nang. It was really nice. I enjoyed it there. And
we also did the Golden Bridge, which is the iconic, probably I'd say their biggest attraction in Vietnam, I reckon.
Yeah.
It's on all the postcards, isn't it?
Yeah, I think as soon as we got there, when we got into the taxi driver was pitching the trip to us, wasn't he? I think they all want your business. But yeah, that was a really good experience. It was busy. I think we expected it to be busy up there, but it was really good.
Yeah, and then we did the Lady Buddha with the gardens, which was really nice, and Marble Mountain as well, which was pretty good. And then we headed to Ho Chi Minh. What was your verdict on Ho Chi Minh?
I'm glad we went. I am glad we went. I think I found it quite stressful, just because of the busyness, and I think I much prefer the quieter, tranquil places, but I think it is good to see the contrast and experience it from all different angles. So I'm definitely glad we went and experienced it, but for me personally, I don't necessarily think I would head back that way, but as a whole, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, and we did the tunnels, which was really interesting. We're both proper war buffs a little bit, aren't we?
Yeah, I enjoyed the history of the tunnels. Yeah, that was a good day out. It was, yeah.
And then it was coach to Cambodia, which was just another surreal experience, wasn't it?
This was to Sihanoukville.
No, it was to Phnom Penh.
Yeah, Phnom Penh first. Yeah, sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Yes. So, Phnom Penh. I feel like I struggle to think back and remember. It all seems like it was a long time ago, and I think it's because we did so much in such a short space of time.
Yeah, we did 3 countries in 2 months. Less than that.
Less than. Yeah.
And we raced through the first lot. I think it was partly because we were being chased by rain.
Yeah, partly. I wanted to get away from the busyness.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, no, that was a bit surreal. Coach journey. I've done another video of kind of crossing the border, but literally you just pay someone $40 and they sort out the paperwork for you. And then we arrived in Phnom Penh for a few days. I think for me, Cambodia was definitely eye-opening for sure. as a whole, I think of Southeast Asia, it's where I saw the most poverty, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. I think on our first day in Phnom Penh, we went for a walk. Is that where we saw
That girl,
the
yeah.
girl in near the river? Yeah.
Yeah.
I found it quite emotional, really, sitting there. And because I think I hear about poverty and things, and I almost feel in the past I've been a bit naive to it. But I think for me, seeing it firsthand like that, it just made me feel really grateful for what we have, and sometimes how much we take things for granted. So it was eye opening for me, I think.
Yeah, I think for me it was definitely the same. I think from the travel, the biggest thing I've learned is gratitude, and I think it's nice when we go out for hikes now and when we go out and about. You usually initiate it, but we say what we're grateful for as a whole.
Yeah, no, I think it's good sometimes just to take a moment and reflect, and maybe just ask yourself, what are you grateful for? I sometimes say, what are you grateful for right now? Or what are you grateful for as a whole in your life? And I think it just directs your train of thought a little bit, and it's a really nice little exercise, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And then in Phnom Penh, everyone does tuk tuk. It's all tuk tuk. There's no Grab or InDrive, which we've been using to get around in Vietnam and Thailand. But Sihanoukville was eye opening for sure. My research was a little bit dated, and when we arrived, we found that it actually wasn't a resort anymore. Loads of Chinese investors have started building stuff and just abandoned it, so it was just a heap of...
Oh, well, I tried to be really positive when we first arrived. It did feel a bit like a ghost town. It did, but I almost tried to cling on to hoping it would get better throughout the day, but it didn't really get much better. So we'd originally booked to stay like 4 or 5 nights, I think, hadn't we?
Yeah, it was something like that. And then we literally stayed at a night. And when you look at the city at night and you see how many or how little lights are on, you realise that there's not many people there. And it's really sad. Lots of abandoned hotels. And yeah, we just decided to just get on the boat and head to Koh Rong and Koh Rong Salom, didn't we?
Yeah, Koh Rong was really, really good. We got the speedboat over to the island, and it was a nice and refreshing, really, to go from what almost felt... I wouldn't say it was scary, but it was eerie, Sihanoukville. So it was nice to get away and escape onto the tranquil island and have some clear water. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, the tuk-tuk drivers, basically, they didn't know where anything was because there was just nothing built there and stuff like that. But yeah, no, Koh Rong and Koh Rong Salon were definitely welcomed by us as some chill time. And it is if you're ever in Cambodia, you have to head down to those two islands because they're absolutely stunning, and it's crystal clear waters, isn't it?
Yeah. So Koh Rong, we stayed in the tree house at the top, didn't we? That was
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really nice. And then it was over to Siem Reap, which was where Angkor Wat is, which I think was one of my highlights.
100%, I would definitely say Angkor Wat was probably up there in the top sites, definitely. I think I remember it being like probably the hottest day, but it didn't stop us exploring and seeing everything we wanted to see. Yeah, it was really, really, really stunning. Yeah.
It's a bit pricey, but it's definitely worth it. And I think it's one of those things where a lot of the time you'll see pictures of things in postcards, but it was the one thing for me that it looked as great as it does in the pictures. And
better even, yeah. And there was other temples as well on the site where we visited a couple of other temples as well. So it was probably one of the top days, I think. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, so definitely head to Siem Reap if you're in Cambodia. And then it was an 8-hour journey to Bangkok, wasn't it?
Yes, yes. I think by this point we'd got quite used to long journeys, and I think I prefer the coaches to the train journeys.
Yeah, I'd agree for sure.
The coaches just seem more comfortable, and I think with the breaks and everything, it doesn't seem quite as long. So
There's more leg room as well, I think.
yeah, I think so. Yeah. So it wasn't too bad, although it was long. It didn't seem too bad. Yeah.
We then spent a night in Bangkok, and we got on another coach to, how do you pronounce that? It's Prachop Kirikam.
Yeah, Prachuap Kiri Khan, I think. It was just the next town down. So the goal was to make our way down to the south into the islands. So we basically just stopped off at a few different towns along the way, didn't we, to break up the journey.
Yeah, so that was pretty. Yeah, it was pretty intense, and they left us in the middle of nowhere, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah. So we got off the bus in the night, and we ended up going to Macro. Luckily there was a Macro open around the corner, so we ended up going in there and asking them to get us a taxi to our hotel. So that was quite fortunate that was there, and we got to our hotel fine in the end.
Yeah, we almost got eaten by dogs. But yeah, no, there was some wild dogs out, and we spent a night in that hotel, and we were like, oh, we need to get out of here. We asked if there was a taxi anywhere nearby, and the person behind the counter, she just basically said to us, oh no, there might be in an hour or something like that, someone that can take you. But ironically, there was a guy and his wife in the reception area, and he was actually born in the irony is he was born in the same hospital as me, which the hospital doesn't actually exist anymore, which is crazy. But yeah, they gave us a lift. They were really, really kind, and we exchanged details, which was cool. And then we decided to go for a walk, didn't we?
Yeah. I don't think we saw the signs on the beach, did we? But we thought we were just heading for a nice stroll along the beach. Although the sand was a little bit, I kept saying it felt a little bit like it was muddy and squelchy, wasn't it? So we'd probably walked about 20 minutes, hadn't we? And then I don't know if did you spot him first? I
think I spotted him. I spotted a guy waving at us, and I kind of waved back. And he was just waving at us quite frantically. And I looked at him more closely, and I realised he had a huge gun on him. And we'd actually walked onto an army base, which was a bit weird. It was a bit weird because the signs there were signs, but not in the area we were in. So I don't know if it's because the tide was out or something like that. We just wandered, and through Google Translate, we were very apologetic, and we're very quick to
escorted off the beach. we marched ahead, didn't we?
Yeah, but yeah, that was an experience. And then it was train to Surat Thani, which was really good. I did a podcast with Craig, who's got a he's got a really cool bistro in Surat Thani. So if you haven't heard that one, listen back, because he actually sold all his possessions to sail around the world before he settled in Thailand, which is a good story to listen to. But yeah, the highlight for me, it was one of the top things I think we did, was the fireflies.
Yeah, that was it was really nice. But he was the one that suggested it to us, the guy Craig in the cafe. Yeah. So we went on the boat at night, and I've never seen fireflies before, so it was really beautiful. I actually got quite emotional. There's a pattern here. I do get quite emotional a lot, but it was lovely. It was a really nice experience.
Yeah, and that was for me it was amazing. It is absolutely amazing. So if you're ever in Surat Thani, fireflies on the boat, they basically take you on a speedboat at night, and there was it was getting to rainy season by that point, so there was fun and there was lightning in the background.
I think that made it even more special, though. I think
Yeah.
I didn't feel scared of anything. It was really a nice, beautiful background, and yeah, it was lovely.
Yeah, it wasn't right above us. It was just kind of it was in the distance, which made it really kind of almost therapeutic, I'd say.
Yeah.
And then it was Koh Lanta, which we spent some time. I unfortunately got a little bit unwell at that point. Basically, in this area of Southeast Asia, you get sandflies, and I got bitten in a very sensitive area, didn't I?
Yeah, it wasn't the best, really, was it? But you recovered okay.
But we saw one of your old colleagues, Laura.
Yeah. So it was really nice. We went up to her house. Well, I would say a mansion more so. It was massive, wasn't it? It was huge.
Yeah.
They'd built it themselves. So yeah, she cooked us dinner, and yeah, it was really nice to catch up. It was actually the first time I'd met her in real life because we used to work remotely, so it was good to see her in real life as well. Yeah.
And then it was the speedboat to Phuket, which was not uneventful, was it?
Well, with another pattern here, we keep getting caught in storms. So this is the rainy season coming upon us quite quickly. But yeah, so as soon as we were waiting for the speedboat, the heavens opened, didn't they? And it still went ahead, but it was quite hairy at points, I think. Looking at some of the drivers' faces, they looked a little bit.
Yeah, they didn't look too comfortable, and it was literally upon us. And I think it felt like a few times the lightning actually did hit the boat, which was a little bit scary. I sang a few mantras on that journey.
I had my head in my inhaler. I think.
Yeah, these are out there. There's these inhalers, and everyone's obsessed with them. They're like a little green tub, and we've got a few with us. And yeah, everyone's obsessed with them. But yeah, they seem to solve everything. Apparently, like seasickness, cold, cough, everything.
If in doubt, get your inhaler out. That's
Yeah,
the motto.
yeah. And then we spent some time in Phuket. Hooked up with Jen, who was in season 2. So that was nice, and we went to parts of Phuket weren't great for me. I think you felt the same, didn't you?
Yeah, I think it was when we first got there. I like to go to places, and I go with no expectations. So I did go in open minded, but I think when we got there, it almost just felt like quite resorty and almost a little bit somewhat pretentious, I would say. But I think once we'd been there a couple of days, and once I got my braids, I was happy. And then we found our little routine, didn't we? And I think I've settled into it a little bit, and we found certain areas which didn't, that felt a bit more relaxing. So yeah, I think I came round to it eventually, and it actually turned out to be probably one of my favourite places in the end.
Yeah, the beaches in Phuket, they're all different, which is really interesting. So you can tour around the beaches. There's lots of different resorts. Bang Teo was probably the resort that we liked the most, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we spent the longest there. That's where Jen was staying as well, so it was really good to spend time with her as well. And yeah, it was. I think that was definitely the best area, because we'd come from the other side where we'd got off the boat. But yeah, I definitely preferred. It felt more
Chill.
more chilled. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we did a bit more island hopping and went to Koh Yai.
Yeah. Go yay, oh yay. I don't know.
Yeah, I never know how to pronounce these
But yeah,
names.
it was a beautiful island and a more pleasant speedboat journey as well. It was a nice day. It was actually a nice day when we got this boat for once. So we all went together for the first day, didn't we? Jen came along with us, so it was really nice to have a day out together. And we found the beach with the, what would you call it? The split in the middle, like a split. Like, I don't know the technical word for it.
Yeah, it was a split. It was like a split in the middle of the beach, which was really cool. And then we went the other side, and the beaches there. It was really nice, clear waters. Not too much. It had rained one night, which was great because apparently when it rains, the jellyfish stay away. So there was some really tranquil beaches that we could do, and you reluctantly discovered your passion for paddleboarding, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I've been paddleboarding once before, but obviously it was like a sail water club, so it was a completely different experience. And you kept saying to me, I really want to go, and I was like, oh, I'm not too bothered. But then we got a paddleboard and went out, and then I didn't want to come back in. So yeah, typical. But yeah, it was really enjoyable. It was nice.
So then we got we flew back to Bangkok and spent a night in Bangkok, and then we had quite a lot of time to kill. So we went on the metro, didn't we? That was quite cool.
Yeah, so it was not just the metro; it was the Sky Train.
Yeah, sorry, get it right. The Sky Train.
Yeah. So that was a good experience, and can't remember. Were we going on there for a purpose, or I think we just wanted to try it, didn't we? We got on the Sky Train to go just to find a coffee place to kill some time, really, didn't we? Before our big flight back to Munich. So we just spent the day just drinking coffee and chilling in different cafes, didn't we?
Yeah, so that was all right, and then it was over to Munich, and I think the one thing I noticed as soon as we hit Munich was the clean air.
Yeah, no, I agree. So especially if it was a 11-hour flight, so it was quite long for a direct flight. But yeah, as soon as we landed, it was just nice to have that fresh air hit your nostrils, and because we've not had that feeling for such a long time, it was nice. And again, that feeling of being grateful for the simple things like fresh air, which like not everybody gets to experience.
Yeah, and we did some tours of some absolutely amazing churches, and the residence there, the Munich residence, which was pretty grand too. And then it was a 5-hour bus journey to Vienna.
Yeah. So we looked at the train, didn't we? And I mean, it wasn't too much difference in price, but the coach was a little cheaper, so we opted for the coach, and it wasn't it was about 5 hours, so it wasn't too bad, and that seemed to go quite quick. And then we got to Vienna, and we stayed in a hotel that was a little bit further out of the city, and ended up walking down the motorway to get there.
But but it was a spa, which was really nice, and it was by a decathlon, which was handy because we're on a farm now, and we needed to get some extra gear because obviously it was a lot colder and wet. Well, I wouldn't quite say wetter, but it was different environment here for farm work. But yeah, the spa, it was nice because we were staying on a spa, and they actually had a cold dip pool as well, which we absolutely needed, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think in Southeast Asia, that was probably the one thing I missed the most, was the cold water, because even the sea was warm, so it was very, very welcoming to have that cold plunge pool back in the hotel in Vienna. Yeah, it was did that every morning, didn't we, when we were there?
Yeah, we did. And yeah, next we got picked up to a farm to go to. You're better at pronouncing it than me.
It's Reichenau, Anderax. So it's a small town just outside. Well, it was about an hour and a half away from Vienna. I think we noticed the degrees in temperature drop as we travelled through. So it probably dropped about 4 or 5 degrees as we got into the mountains. But it's absolutely stunning, the backdrop here. It almost looks surreal. Some mornings when we wake up, we have to pinch ourselves and remember it's real.
And there's a river just going through, and yeah, it's good for cold dips as well, which we did this morning. And yeah, we're going to be here for a bit, and then a bit of a break in Italy, going around Italy, and then back to Dorfen, just outside Munich, to do lavender farm work as well. But on this farm, we're tending to sheep and a few different livestock, and just doing a lot of planting and gardening, which I think you found your green fingers here, haven't you?
I have, yeah. It's surprising, really, because I've never actually planted or had an interest in growing anything. But yeah, the glass house and the veggie garden's been my little baby, I think. And it's quite, I feel quite proud when you start to see things grow. And I've pinched a few strawberries off the plant already, and they taste good. But yeah. Yeah, take that new skill home with me, maybe, and try planting some stuff at home, see how it goes.
Yeah, it'd be good. But yeah, so thank you for tuning into this season. This is the roundup now, pretty much. But if you want to see a little bit more about our adventures, we've got some videos on YouTube, which I'll put the link below. But as always, thank you for listening to another season, and this may be a while before I do any more recording, but as I always say, if there's anything you want to hear about or anything you want to suggest, just drop me a mail at hello@wildnessandwellbeing.com. And yeah, thanks, and thanks, Neneh.
Thank you.